This is Nifty Culture. I'm Pio, and I have the pleasure of speaking all the way from Berlin with NFT artist, digital artist, talented artist, Sam Madhu. How's it going, Sam?
Going well. Thank you so much for having me back, Pio. You do the best interviews in the NFL. So, I'm stoked to be here. So, yeah.
Thank you Thank you, Sam. No, I
Cool.
really appreciate that, and I really enjoyed our last interview. Like I was kind of just telling you, and really excited to do this one too. So I see that a lot has kind of gone down for you since our last interview. Can you talk a little bit about what the past couple of months have been like for you, and what's been going on with you in your career?
Yeah, thank you, Pio. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, I've just been taking it easy for the summer, just living in a new city, and I've just been, enjoying new friends, going outside, like getting to meet people. So I've really been kind of offline actually, and I definitely feel guilty about that because, you know, like every hour in the NFT space, it's like something new happens. I'm just gonna tweet this link that you sent me really quickly. But yeah, I've just, been taking it easy. The good thing is Nifty wrote me up for a second drop right after the first one, so that was exciting. And I think for the second drop, I noticed that again, like the NFT space kind of went through its ups and downs, and I wanted to do something that was really rewarding to the collectors and just fun for people to like participate in, which is why I came up with this like these demon keys, which we're going to talk about, which are like a weekly like reward based system. So yes, wait, I'm just going to send this to my Discord really quick. Just at everyone.
Absolutely. Sounds good. And I have the demon key pulled up here that you were generous enough to give to us. So obviously we really really appreciate that, and it's hanging out there in our Nifty Gateway account. One thing I want to point out is your last drop did very well on the secondary at first on Nifty Gateway at a time when most drops weren't appreciating at the level that I think some collectors were hoping that they would be. So you already have a history of properly pricing and structuring drops, and obviously now you have this reward for collectors. What can you tell us about, how you're thinking about structuring future work, whether on Nifty Gateway or on another platform?
Great. Thank you for that question. I feel like kind of sustaining your like making your work sustainable in the NFT space for me is the biggest challenge because it's like with every drop, I find that the like your last drop, like when there's more of a supply, it's like how do you maintain that value of your work? So I have a little group of friends in the NFT space that they really help me with strategy and all those things. And one of my really good friends, Talvir, who's very active in on Discord and especially in Nifty Gateway's Discord, he and I are coming up with this points-based system. So basically, it's like every NFT of mine that you hold has a certain amount of points that you can later redeem for newer editions, special editions. It's we're basically like adding value to every NFT that you own, so that um, it just incentivizes people to be collectors of my work. And I think that's something we're going to start working on after the second drop. The second drop for me is really challenging because I was just working on other stuff like other client work, and I was in a new city and meeting people, so it just like it was hard for me to actually sit on it. But I think making these keys every week, they kind of help me refocus, and the keys will be in the artwork. So these are just like little teasers that I'm doing. Yeah.
Very awesome. And each key is an original piece. Is that right? It's not like the same key every week. It's like a totally original piece every week.
Yep. I was gonna do 5, but then life got in the way, so now I'm doing 4. But I'm really, really happy with how these 4 came out, and I'm very much about like putting out a really good product rather than I'm very much like quality over quantity. So yeah, these 4 look really good, so I'm happy to put them out. Talvir is here. Hey, Talvir.
I'll pull up his chat. It looks like the
Yeah,
homie Alveer's here, a mover and
yeah.
shaker in NFTs and someone that has really good relationships with artists. So shout out to Talveer. I
Mhm.
think he's actually who introduced us originally, if I remember
I
correctly. I
think
think that's
so.
why.
Yeah. I think he's definitely
He,
like a big player in the space. Like he's always online, always like helping people with strategy. He's in touch with the artists and the collectors. So yeah, he's like an amazing person to have on my team, and yeah, love his support.
Awesome. And so, I see a little influence in these keys from, if you remember, we talked about the music video that you directed last time. I feel like some of these images were in there. Is that a theme that people will see in your work again? Like, what is the inspiration for these keys?
My grandmother's calling me. Sorry.
All good.
Call you back later, grandma. Yeah. So basically, like I grew up in India, and all over Asia, there are these like demons that are like scattered all over different cultures, so I grew up like seeing these demons on like cars and construction sites, and then if you go to Japan, you might see them like in movie theaters and things like that. So I just really wanted to kind of bring that back into my work, and I thought that making these faces like these keys would be a really interesting way to do that. And yeah, the music video was also kind of inspired by that because I did like these mannequins wearing like demon masks, so it's like pop culture meets like satanic futurism. I don't know, but yeah.
Awesome. No, that's awesome. And so, you have this drop coming up. I think the tentative date you said was August 19th, right?
So as of now, I'm down for August 19th. I'm a day after Nest Graphics and a day before I think Fuck. So it's like sandwiched between two heavy hitters, and I just yeah, I need to really get my shit together and make this artwork. But yeah, August 19th is what we have right now. I'm hoping I don't change it, but yeah, I'm hoping. Yeah, I think August 19th. I just have to make it happen. Yeah.
You will. You're gonna make it happen. Sounds
Yeah,
great. So
thank you,
August
Theo.
19th or sometime in August, another drop from Sam. And again, the last drop was structured very well. It performed very well on the secondary market. Sam, have you paid attention at all? And it's okay if you haven't, because I understand it's kind of a different thing as an artist and you're in a new city slash country. So, don't feel any pressure on this response. But have you been paying attention at all to the recent activity on the secondary market of Nifty Gateway?
Yeah, I have. And I've been kind of following the Twitter drama as well. And I remember I was like at a party in UN, and then I was like, a little fucked up, and I decided to tweet out like I support Nifty Gateway, which I do, because I still think Nifty is a really cool platform, and it just like connects the way it connects people. I really the secondary on Nifty, well, in terms of my own work, like, it's everything I think has appreciated. So the secondary is doing okay for my last drop. I do know that some of the other drops like kind of suffered on secondary, but I think, we went through like a really crazy period in February and March, and now it's, things go up and down, but now I think it's getting stable, and the things and like whatever the prices and the secondary that we kind of set forward, like now I hope it will be sustainable for a longer period of time, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's definitely been like kind of crazy to just watch. Like, I don't know, it's a lot of speculation as well, but yeah, did that answer your question at all, or did I just like go off on a tangent?
No, no, you're good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like, so your work is appreciated. What we've seen recently is like we've seen a little bit of a pump on Nifty Gateway, like a little bit of a kind of circling back, a rotation back into Nifty Gateway, which was definitely a sight, for sore eyes, so to speak. Like, definitely really excited about that. Like we talked about, your work had been structured properly and did appreciate, and so you're one of those artists that wasn't really impacted by the bubble in February and March. Because correct me if I'm wrong, wrong, you hadn't already had you already dropped before February and March on Nifty Gateway, or was your first drop
No,
after that?
no. So you know what? Thinking back, like I was like, oh wow, I wish I got a drop then because they all made bank. But now I'm just like, oh wow, that wasn't a good idea. I mean, I guess people didn't know what was happening then as well. But yeah, a lot of the open editions that were minted during that boom phase, they all kind of went through a crash in the secondary. So that I mean, just watching all of that, it really made me prioritize the importance of like making my work very limited, and I won't do more than 100 editions per drop, which I know is super limited, but that's just how I want to keep it. Like, I want my stuff to be like very low in supply. Um, just because I think it increases. Like, I just don't believe in oversupplying. That's why even this open edition I'm doing, like, it's only for people who have a key. So it's like it's an open edition, so it's kind of like a paradox. But it's not going to be more than 100 editions minted. Like there's no way that can happen because they're like there's only like so many keys that exist. So yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. So even like the open edition has a built-in mechanism that there's a hard
Hmm.
cap of 100, 100
Yeah.
mints. So I totally understand that and I appreciate that for sure. So, collectors should understand that basically if they're buying Sam's work, right? Sam came into Nifty Gateway after the kind of bubble burst already. So, a sort of fresh start. And then the work that Sam put out at first has appreciated in value. It appreciated immediately after the drop. And, it's continued to perform, well. And then, there are sort of things that are taken into account to keep things limited in future drops, including this drop that's coming later in August. You need to have one of these keys to be able to participate in the open edition. So these are all great
Hmm.
things for collectors to keep in mind. And I think a lot of collectors want to understand that the artist has an understanding of how to structure things to keep them sort of protected, so to speak.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, Pio, I'm so glad you like can make sense of all my crazy ideas. That gives me faith. So
Well,
yeah.
yeah, there's more than me should give you faith. You've been a
Yeah.
strong performer and you're obviously aligned with some really great people in the NFT space. So I think everybody should feel good about the idea of buying Sam's work. Let me ask you this, Sam. Since I'm familiar with your work that's older from my research that I did before our first interview, and obviously you and I connected over the fact that you've done some music videos as a director and an art director. So I know that you can do work in other kind of mediums. You're a multidisciplinary artist. However, most of your NFT work has kind of been in this style, like the 3D, moving,
Hmm.
very colorful, like kind of taking the influence that you had from your digital artwork from before, the older stuff, and applying it to this 3D world. Will we continue to see this style, or do you see your NFT specific style evolving over time too?
100%. I still think of myself as like, I guess, like intermediate 3D artist. So I know that I'm gonna grow a lot and my skills are gonna and I learn very fast as well. So I know that my skills are gonna, grow exponentially. And as that happens, the style of my work will change as well. Um, so yeah, I mean, I definitely want to stick with 3D because I feel like it's, the Renaissance and like everyone moved from painting to sculpture. I just like love the idea of 3D, so I'm gonna stick with it. But my style will, get better over time, I feel. But I still think that people who like took a chance on me in the beginning, like early collectors, will definitely um they have a special place in my heart. So I always try to reward them as much as I can. Yeah. Oh, also
Great
Marcus
to
and
hear.
FOMO are here, two awesome supporters. So I want to shout them out. They're in my Discord, making it, come alive because it's hard to like keep the Discord. Sometimes you have to be online, like put in the work. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think other artists should like really understand that, right? It's like a big part of the NFT game, so to speak, is to like have that active community. And so I know that it's unrealistic for every single artist to put in the amount of time that kind of Discord needs to be supported by. And so, aligning yourself with folks that are your collectors that will help you out, that will keep conversations going in there and support. Marcus is coming here saying Sam Gang, FOMO's coming here
Yeah,
saying
they're
Sam Gang.
amazing. They're the best. And I think sometimes when I need to take a break and go offline, like these guys are, supporting me even when I'm not there. So I really, really appreciate that.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
any closing thoughts on the keys or this next drop? Anything else that people should know?
Yes, I want to talk about the new drop. So tier 4 key will be dropping on Monday. I think that's August 9th, Monday. And yeah, it's dropping at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. And it's one of my favorites. It looks sick. We're gonna do 50 editions as a drawing, open to all, priced at $99, and collectors of mine get multiple entries, so they have a better chance at winning. I was gonna make it a $1 drawing, but then after some advice from the collectors, we decided to do 99 to like prevent people who are gonna like flip from entering the drawing. So yeah, it's been a community effort. Like they've been advising me, and super grateful for that.
Sam takes advice. She listens
Yeah,
to the people, yeah, that are around. I mean, like that really does say so much, Sam, because when you're watching the market 24/7 versus worrying about like creating, right? It's a totally
yeah.
different thing. And this market is like the synergy of creators, but then also people that are interested in finance and markets and trading. So
Mm-hmm.
there is a certain input that can benefit an artist. So the fact that you listen to that, right? Instead of $1, so that if somebody buys it for $1, they can sell it for 50 and they view that as a 50 extra turn. At the $99 price point, you're going to shake out a lot of those people that were really looking at it as a lottery ticket, and you're going to attract more
Mm-hmm.
people that are actually interested in collecting the work. So I think that's
Yeah.
fantastic. And collectors out there should, pay attention to that Sam, listens to input and makes adjustments.
Yes, and I think 99 is still quite generous, but
Definitely.
hopefully it's okay that people will still be able to, enter, because I definitely want to make my work accessible. So, yeah. Thank you, Pio. Such good questions as always.
Absolutely, absolutely. So anything else people should know? Anything else people should pay attention to?
I think that's all for now, but I always drop like hints on my Discord and stuff, so come and hang out if you want any sneak peeks, any like updates and all that. But I'm gonna probably be offline for a bit because I need to actually go make the art now, which I haven't done yet. So
It's
yeah,
an important part.
yeah, kinda a little bit.
Well, everyone, make sure you follow Sam on Twitter. I have her at right there at Sammy World. I
Yeah.
also put it in the description, so make sure you follow her on Twitter. Join the Discord, right? That's where can hang out with a lot of these guys like Marcus, FOMO, these other collectors of Sam, the Sam Gang, if you will. And look out for
Oh
that
my
drop on Nifty Gateway
god.
later this month. Make sure you get your keys so you're ready to rock. And yeah, just follow Sam and what she's doing.
Yeah, such a good interview. Thank you so much, Pio, for having me, and I'm really glad you have one of the keys. Feel free to hold, resell, like do your thing. Yeah, I like it when people like play games. So yeah,
We're holding
cool.
it. Don't worry, we're holding it. And thank you so much for the key, Sam, and
Mhm.
thanks for coming on. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Pio. Goodbye,
See you guys.
everyone.
Thanks everyone for watching. See ya.